Good morning. This will be episode 14 of Conversations with OG Ribbz. Today we're going to talk about when to react to something and when to ignore something. But for the most part, it's best, like I said, for the most part, to ignore anything and everything that doesn't fit you. Sometimes in life, you would have to react to something depending on what it is and the benefits you would get out of reacting to it. But for the most part, it's best to always just ignore it. Why you should ignore certain things. A lot of times, especially when you're younger, you don't get it. You're not experienced enough to know how to handle certain things that are thrown at you, how to handle the curveballs that might be thrown at you in life. So it's understandable if you're younger, a little immature, that you will be quick to react to certain things instead of ignoring it. But if you grasp in the beginning that you should ignore things, you're doing great. It's like one of them situations where as you're growing up, people tell you to do something, but you don't know the significance behind it. Growing up, grown people, mature people, used to tell me to ignore certain situations. But I'm like, nah, I'm going to react. Didn't say it like that. I just reacted. I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I was doing. But I felt at the end of the day, it's better to do something about something than to ignore it. Growing up, gaining patience. And if you know me, that's one of the hardest things for me to do is have patience. But as I grew up, gained patience, was a little more experienced with things, a little more mature about things, I realized that is the best thing to do, is to ignore it. You could be dealing with a situation where someone pissed you off. They piss you off a great deal. But at the end of the day, even though this person pissed you off, you don't see this person every day. You don't deal with this person like that. The person's not a relative. The person's not a friend. The person's not even an associate. Not even a co-worker or anything. But you see this person and they do something you don't like. Most people, half of the people that you might be around might react quickly to it. But think about it. What are you getting out of reacting to that instead of just ignoring it? You don't see this person on the regular. Even though this person pissed you off, remember, that's a temporary emotion. Later on that day, tomorrow, next week, next month, for sure, you probably forget all about it. Or at least you're not that upset anymore. Ignore situations like that. Situations that don't have no bearing on you, that doesn't benefit you in any way, especially with you reacting to it, ignore that. And now, like I said, in certain situations, you will have to react. It could be a situation where somebody being disrespectful to my daughter. Just out the blue. I'm not going to ignore that. I'm going to react. But basically, conversations that me and you have, or I have with y'all, or you see my videos on YouTube, or you see my shortened versions on TikTok and my Instagram page, or one of my Instagram pages, my daughter sees the videos I post on YouTube and on Instagram. She doesn't have TikTok, so she doesn't see those per se. At least I don't think she does. But I trust my daughter. I know my daughter. What I'm getting at is I have talks with her. So the same talk I'm having now, the same conversation we're having now, I have those type of conversations with my daughter. But I'm not going to have nobody disrespect my daughter. I'm also letting my daughter know, don't ever let nobody disrespect you. But put in a situation that you have no bearing over. It's not beneficial to you. My daughter has a little experience with things. She's a lot older. She's a lot mature. Then you can decide to ignore or react. And for the most part, if it has no bearing over you, ignore it. Another situation where you can ignore it, let's say, let's take it up a notch. Let's say you're dealing with somebody, and I do this a lot. This is a prime example. Let's say I've been in relationships with females where they accuse me of doing something. And see, I'm at the age now, a lot of stuff I might have done in the past, I'm not doing that now. But let's say they accuse me of something like that. Let's say they accuse me of cheating. Let's keep it real. Let's say they accuse me of cheating and I ain't cheat. I'm not going to keep arguing with the person. I'm not going to try to state my case. I'm not trying to win the argument. If I told her that I'm not cheating, that's what it is. I'm not cheating, especially if I'm not cheating. Now, if I'm cheating, that's a whole different story. But if I'm not cheating, I'm not going to keep telling someone I'm not cheating. That's with anything in life. If I said I didn't do it, I didn't do it. Another prime example, a close friend of mine accused me of saying something about her and someone else. This happened years ago. It became news to me because it never happened. I never put her and that person out there. I've told her time and time again, I never did. And like I said, this has been going on almost 9 years ago. And to this day, believe it or not, this girl believed I said something I didn't say. It's guys that said I'd done this or done that. One thing about me, and I'll tell fellas this, don't gossip. But here and there, you might have certain conversations. You might speak on certain things. That's human. That's normal. But don't get yourself into a situation where you constantly and you always gossiping. Yes, ladies, they do say men talk more than women. My opinion on it, it might be true. It might be true. To an extent, it is true. But it depends on the individuals involved. Not all men run their mouth like that. You got women that run their mouth like crazy, but then you have women that don't. You got men that run their mouth a lot. Then you have men that don't. It depends on the individual. A lot of times people characterize things based on men and women, based on sex. No, basing on that person's personality, that person's attitude, basing on that person. So going back, that was kind of off topic, but going back to what we were talking about, if I'm constantly telling you something that I didn't do, and I didn't do it, I'm not going to keep trying to argue my case. I'm going to get to a situation where now I'm ignoring you. And ladies and fellas, a lot of times when someone ignores somebody, what they are doing, they're pissing them off even more. So, but in a way that wouldn't be my initial objective. Not that I have an initial objective in this situation. It's just if I'm not cheating, I'm not cheating. So it is what it is. Another situation that you might react to, and it's understandable that you'll react to it, a situation where someone trying to, let me see if I can think of a prime example before I come up with something that's not so much of a prime example. Because I can't think of so much right now. It goes to show you, I ain't know a lot of stuff, especially when it has no bearing over me. I ain't know it. I'm not going to put that out there. But I do want to keep it real with y'all. So I am going to put that out there, but that's another example of ignoring something. So I'm not going to bring that up. I'm trying to think of a situation where I might have had to react recently, but I can't think of anything. So I'm going to come up with a different example. Let's say somebody comes, okay, yeah. Let's say somebody comes to your house. Now, one thing about me, and everybody should be like this, when someone comes to your house, your home, the place you reside, your residence, they should respect you. Let's say they come to your crib and they disrespect you. One thing I realized, a lot of guys, and it's nothing wrong with this. So let's use this. This is more so of a prime example. Let's say you going over someone's house, and let's say it's them and their significant other there. As a guy, I'm talking about another guy. Let's say my homeboy has to run to the store. Out of respect, you should either go with him or go outside and sit in your vehicle. But for the most part, I know most guys will say, no, you come in with me. That is the respectful thing to do. Let's say if the guy is on some BS. The guy said, no, I'm staying here. You the one that got to go to the store. Go to the store. You can trust me. That's a situation that you can react to, but you ain't got it beating in the head so much. Because that's your house, if the person comes off like that, you can easily say, hey, matter of fact, dog, go ahead and leave. I'll holler at you another time. If you want something like that, this is when I'm on. I'll holler at you another time. If it's something that you have to go more into detail right then and there, instead of waiting till later, you can tell them, hey, when it comes to me, I do trust you. When it comes to her, I trust her. But out of respect, I just don't want you in the house with her when I'm not there. Most guys shouldn't have that conversation with people. Most guys should get it. I've been in situations with guys that say, hey, come with me. I get it. I ain't tripping. I never really been in a situation where a guy will come over, I have to leave, and then it's either I leave him in the crib with my old lady or I tell him to come on. I've never been in a situation like that. Because for the most part, if somebody coming over and it's me and my old lady, I ain't got to leave out the crib for nothing. But I know in certain situations, might be somewhat of an emergency, something like that might occur. So instead of reacting to the point that you have to go in, you don't. You state your case, it is what it is. Either the person rides with you or the person just leave altogether. So basically what I'm getting at is, when it comes to your emotions, don't let nobody take you out of your character. People tend to take you out your character when you do what? When you react to things. It's understandable, that's normal. But what if sometimes you don't even react to things? You ignore things. To me, it's best for you to ignore things, because you won't get yourself all bent up about things. You won't get yourself to the point that you are out of character, because you're ignoring. You ignoring this particular situation. You ignoring certain things. Now, don't get me wrong. You do have to react to certain things. But to me in life, you're going to be put in situations where you will have to ignore things rather than to react to certain things. And to me, that's good for you. That's good for your health. One thing that bothers people the most, in my opinion, is stress. What is one way you can get stressed? When you have to react to something. You get all bent out of shape about it. Now, don't get me wrong. You can be a little stressed when ignoring the situation. But I think you get over that stress quicker when you ignore it instead of reacting to it. It's similar to this. Somebody pisses you off to the point it raises your blood pressure. Now you're stressed out. Now it's taking you a little longer to get over it compared to you would if you would have ignored it and had no type of reaction to it. Give you a good 5-10 minutes, you over it. Compared to a few hours when you still trying to get your blood pressure down. You done let your blood pressure go up over somebody that doesn't matter to you. That's what it hit me about ignoring certain things. Never let nobody get you to the point that you so upset that it gets your blood pressure high. High to the point that it makes you sick. High to the point that it gets you worried and other people worried. Them people don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. So that's why most situations ignore it. Ignore the nonsense. Ignore the BS. Ignore certain situations that doesn't have no bearing or is not beneficial to you. But yeah, anytime you put in a situation, think and then possibly ignore it. Don't react to nonsense. Don't react to something that in the long run you're going to regret to reacting to it. That's all I have. Y'all be safe. And I'll see you next time. Holla.